ice and fire, so you can create steam and power all the steampunks.
I love steampunk.
Wait,
My favorite steampunk is Ghost in the Shell.
that's the best one because it's based on what would happen if everybody was robots powered solely by steam.
That sounds great.
The internet
Goggles.
is a series of steam tubes.
You need to have
Cool. What do
steam
you guys
goggles.
think I should have on my head? Well, if I'm covered in steam.
Goggles.
Are we recording this time, or are we not recording this time?
Yes, we are recording.
I swear to God, Dane, if we're not recording.
How about
All right, guys.
Alucard mail with a D?
Oh yeah, well that's something I can live with. That's a quality choice. Twilight Cloak, Crystal Cloak, Cloth Cape, Blood Cloak.
What do you think, Brian?
Twilight Cloak.
Twilight Cloak, because that was a great movie. Remember, guys?
That is... Listen, all I'm saying
I'm gonna let you guys in on a secret. These guys also picked the Moonstone and the Bloodstone on the last playthrough, so I'm just gonna put those on so that we can get moving. Alright, let's rock and roll.
We picked the Bloodstone for Twilight, and we picked the Moonstone for Twilight: New Moon, which was one of the best Twilight movies. I really think Edward Cullen, by which I mean Robin Pattinson, by which I mean Christopher Robin of The 100 Acre Wood, is one of the greatest actors of our generation. Up there with Samuel.
He's the Sir
with
L. Jackson,
Samuel L. Jackson, and
Laurence Olivier,
Peter Sellers.
Peter Sellers,
whose role in being there was really just impossible for anyone else to do.
Alright, guys.
Robert De Niro.
Time for a boss. It's gonna be Robert Pattinson, Bella Swan, and whoever that third guy is.
Oh, why are we fighting?
goodness.
Jacob. Which one's Jacob? Oh, there's Bella.
The guy with the stupid shoulders, obviously.
No, man, that's Trevor.
Trevor is probably, what's his name? Edward Cullen, by which I mean Robert Cullen.
Yeah, a little bit of actual game information here. So this boss fight is based on 3 characters that you can play as in Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse. The guy who crawls around on the ceiling is Grant. I don't remember what his last name is. Trevor Belmont is the guy with a whip, and Sifa Belnades is the Ice Queen.
Hey, I got a question.
Queen?
Why is her name... Okay, so that's the ancestor of the one who shows up in the Game Boy Advance game, the Belnades woman.
Yes.
What is she... What's her relation to the vampire hunters?
She just... So Trevor saves her from being a statue in the third film. Or the third game.
I love Fast and Furious 3. When Trevor saves her from being a statue, it's frozen and it's not recording.
What's frozen and not recording?
The video, as far as I can tell. Could you unzoom and see if we're actually recording? No.
I see it going right now, so we're fine.
Okay.
Oh, it's just frozen for Paul and I.
It's just frozen for Skype.
Yes.
Skype has frozen.
Alright. We are just going to now imagine what is happening in Castlevania, and we'll see how closely it corresponds to what Dane is actually doing.
What's happening on my screen is that Trevor has sort of jumped into Sifa's butt, and she doesn't really mind. She kind of likes it, because I think they have a very intimate relationship. And the Bat is very offended by that. He has a small exclamation point over his head as he looks on to what they're doing, and Dane, by which I mean Dracula Alucard, is jumping towards them as if to say, "Children might watch this. This is on YouTube. Stop."
Have you power enough to wield me?
Does that make sense? Okay. So welcome back to Men with Advanced Degrees waste their lives while trying to undo their student debt and try to kill themselves. Now we have the sword card, which is one of the best cards. If you read Plato, he specifically says, use the sword card. It does more damage than any of the other cards.
That's like late era Plato, though. That's like the Laws era Plato. After he's gotten very cynical and has been beaten down by life and essentially becomes a Nazi. That's shit Plato. That's shit tier Plato.
I never knew that Plato was essentially an American. That's interesting.
He really is. I've been reading the Will Durant Story of Civilization: The Life of Greece, And yeah, like Plato, as he got a lot older, got much more obnoxious. And he refers, that's like the last extent work that we have is the Laws, which no one reads in philosophy class because it sucks. It's sort of like a reworking of the Republic, where he decides, no, fuck it, we can't live anywhere near the sea, no foreigners, and everyone needs to be a slave to this to some sort of ultra-powerful dictatorship that kills anybody that doesn't
Wait, that's the last bit of the
think
Republic.
right.
I thought the Republic was like a cohesive work. It seemed more coherent to me, like he wrote it all at the same time, right?
No, that is the Republic. The Republic, I mean, in a lot of ways, the Republic does end up at what amounts to a sort of like enlightened fascism.
Right, with all these Watchers, except who watches the Watchers, right? That's the
right,
big
exactly,
famous
right? What the Laws is, he writes that, I don't know, probably like 15 years later. And at that point, like, Athens is, like, the Greece is falling apart. They're slumping towards the point where the Macedonians are going to take everything over and install a monarchy. And he just writes this essay about how freedom is terrible and everyone needs to be bound by really, really restrictive laws because everyone's an animal and there has to be this powerful authoritarian state. And, like, in the Republic, the idea is that we can sort of, by having this sort of system, it creates this wonderful society for us all to live in. And like by the Laws, he sort of gives up and decides, you know what? A utopia is impossible. A good society is impossible. Men are nothing but animal scum that have to be disciplined and punished into decency.
Do you think Plato would have had more faith in humanity if they had become slaves to pay him tribute?
Well, I mean, he owned a lot of slaves.
Better question, I think, there, Paul, is if Greece had been a castle of chaos, do you think that Plato would have wanted people to be slaves to pay him tribute?
Yes. Right.
Absolutely.
No, but for
because
real,
here's the thing about
what's
Plato.
Interesting... No, I'm sorry, go ahead. Oh, there's Graham. They forgot the H and an A in that. That was one of my best friends in middle school, Graham. You better use my friend from middle school next.
That Plato was actually super rich. That he was part of he was from a very wealthy, very aristocratic family and had lots of money. And he was enormously wealthy. So he owned lots of slaves, had slaves. And he funded the academy largely by kissing the ass of various tyrants and dictatorial figures and kings and stuff around Greece, like, you know, Magna Graecia, the Greater Greece, to get them to donate tons of money to the academy. He essentially built like a real modern university where, you know, they went around like kissing the butts of fancy donors so as to pay for all the philosophers to philosophize.
That's interesting. One of the most horrifying things about studying history is you realize that people start off with principles, right? And then eventually, Rome, Greece, America just kind of become a slag heap of people kissing the asses of the rich so that they can do anything at all. And it's really no longer about principle at all.
I'm sorry, Paul. Did you say that they started out not doing that?
I feel like in some ways, yeah. I feel like in the 50s and 60s, like there's more investment in society, and people like feel like maybe we can even do civil rights, and maybe we can change all of our history and go forward, and maybe we should like let people go to college without putting them horribly in debt, so that they have to do YouTube videos in the YouTube slave factory to survive.
Make 0.4 cents per video with our 40 views and our 6 subscribers.
0.4 cents. Man, I can't wait to pay off my loans with that. I want you guys to know that I love you.
That's sweet.
But which, I mean, I'm killing myself right now. I'm hanging myself to Castlevania.
There's so many other better, more appropriate video games to hang yourself to.
Yeah, what, you mean like anything in the Persona series?
Oh, holy shit, Persona? Are we talking about Persona?
Anything
well,
in Persona, I don't even know what that is.
The joke flies over your head because, like, in Persona 3, it's like Pokemon, except you summon your Pokemon by shooting yourself in the head with a gun.
That's right. Dude, I just started playing Persona 4. A friend loaned it to me, and I was like, this is
it's really bizarre
weird.
because it's like a dating sim mixed with a serious RPG.
A dating sim mixed with a dungeon crawler is what it is, Brian. Where you go inside, in Persona 4 at least, you go inside a television and fight all sorts of demons, and then you go out of the television and choose who you're going to date in high school. In your Japanese small town. Pretty good.
Why are we playing this game and not that?
I don't know. We must be bad.
It has a lot to do with the fact that my computer is a sack of shit.
Persona requires too much
it's not necessarily that so much. I don't own it. And also, oh, good news, guys. I'm going to build my new PC soon. I have all the parts but a motherboard.
I'd like you guys...
That's the most elusive of all parts.
You can only get a motherboard.
And then we can
from
play,
shit.
how to fool boyfriend and whatever.
I can't wait for that.
Oh my god. That's where we're really gonna shine it, is when we play novelty video games that are horrifying and morally disturbing. Like Persona.
Yeah.
And that thing where you fuck pigeons, and also other pigeons, like gruesomely murder other pigeons and like eat their corpses.
I didn't know that the Great Leap Forward happened in Persona. I mean, I'm sorry, Hatoful Boyfriend.
It does. It's actually that whole game is a large metaphor for the Great Leap Forward.
If they had all been pigeons, it would have been like this.
They wouldn't have forced people to smelt their doorknobs into pig iron. If the Persona people had been in charge.
That would have been fine iron. You don't understand Mao, okay? I understand Mao.
Yeah, I was always more of a Stalin guy, you know.
Of course, y'all. Everyone loves Stalin. Stalin industrialized Russia. He defeated Hitler. Well, Stalin is a jerk. Mao was the true communist.
Hey, Mao was an asshole. When Mao went to Russia, Mao said that all that there is to do here is to eat, sleep, and shit. What a fucking monster. What kind of monster says that kind of thing? Someone that only does 60% good things for China and 40% bad things.
I feel that way about Russia too. To be fair, what the hell kind of golden machine was that on the staircase above?
That
was just ridiculous. That was so steampunk. I'm glad we used our steampunk goggles. Otherwise, we would have been blinded by all the steam.
Oh wow, we made progress, guys. I'm not
Yeah,
oh
we got the next
icosahedron. Thank you, Paul. Is anyone keeping track of time at all?
God bless you.
I was keeping track. I lied, but then everything got screwed up, so I don't even know anymore.
It's 15 minutes. It's in 15 minutes, so you better change your Great Leap
There was that
Forward.
like 5-minute period of time where we weren't really doing anything. Give me another 5 minutes. Also, we're getting some visual distortion. We're gonna stop here for the time being.
It's fine. Look, just like giant things of light are shooting across the screen. That's fine.
That's a minor problem. It's a minor... Listen, those blemishes of light are to this game what the Holocaust was to Nazism. A minor blemish on an otherwise great experience.
Speaking of Nazism, by which I mean speaking of Plato owning slaves and using like his slave money to fund his philosophy, I'd like you guys to know that the Negro College Fund was supported by funds from proceeds from Gone with the Wind. Once this lady made the case to the author of Gone with the Wind that all the black people in her book were ridiculous caricatures and very embarrassing, and she said, "Oh, I guess I'll fund the Negro College Fund." Like a lot of money too. Are you fighting?
That's
Sorry, what?
That's really amazing. I mean, I guess that makes sense though, right? Because I feel like the thing about rich people is that they don't want to feel like they're bad people, right? And so it's like it can be free for a lot of them, right? It's really easy to guilt them into things and be like, yeah, listen, you don't have to feel bad about how you wrote this horrible racist book if you just give us a bunch of money.
It's kind of the same thing that Plato did when he summoned Beelzebub, the Lord of the Flies, and wrote that great book, Lord of the Flies.
Those are his three best things: the Symposium, The Republic and Lord of and William Golding's Lord of the Flies.
William Golding presents Lord of the Flies by Plato. That's kind of the What happened to you?
The fight is not going as I would prefer. And by that,
What would you prefer?
Listen,
would you prefer to win?
I mean we're gonna use the pot roasts.
We're gonna use. Listen, why even have pot roasts if not to shove them in your face? Pot roasts are delicious.